The Big Bang Theory's worst plot hole is Raj's one-character inconsistency the show ignored for all 12 seasons. Over the course of its 12-season run, The Big Bang Theory delivered countless laughs, emotional arcs, and unforgettable characters. It became a pop culture staple, praised for its quirky ensemble cast and unique blend of geek culture with mainstream sitcom humor. But even the most successful shows are not immune to plot holes, and one of The Big Bang Theory's most glaring and oddly persistent inconsistencies centered around Raj Kuthrapali. For a show that prided itself on scientific accuracy and character-driven humor, Raj's selective mutism, his inability to speak to women, became a baffling and frustrating inconsistency that the series never adequately resolved, ignored when convenient, and ultimately left as a gaping hole in his character arc. From the pilot episode, Raj is introduced with a clear and specific social anxiety. He cannot speak to women unless he's under the influence of alcohol. This character trait is established early as both a comedic device and a defining aspect of his personality. It set up countless punchlines and awkward social scenarios. The rest of the group often had to accommodate or work around Raj's condition, creating humorous tension and highlighting his struggle in romantic and social settings. Initially, this quirk worked to emphasize his vulnerability and made him relatable to viewers who also suffer from social anxiety. However, the show quickly began to bend, contradict, and ultimately ignore this limitation whenever it suited the plot, revealing a major inconsistency in Raj's development and how the writers treated his character. What made Raj's mutism such a troubling plot hole wasn't just that it disappeared arbitrarily, it's that the show failed to offer a consistent or believable explanation for when and why it did. In some episodes, Raj needs a single sip of alcohol to become smooth and confident around women. In others, he is suddenly able to speak to them with no clear trigger, or the anxiety simply vanishes without mention. Even more perplexing, some of his deepest and most articulate conversations with female characters occur while sober, completely undermining the original premise of his condition. This inconsistency turned a once compelling character trait into a confusing narrative device that broke immersion and suggested lazy writing more than organic character growth. The most notable example of this happens across multiple seasons, where Raj interacts with Penny, Bernadette, or Amy in perfectly normal conversation, only for another scene in the same episode or season to revert him back to being mute in their presence. Rather than building a realistic progression, perhaps through therapy, support from his friends, or gradual confidence-building experiences, the show chose to flip a switch depending on what the scene required. One moment he's tongue-tied and helpless, the next he's